All right, what's up, everybody? I'm Cody here with Dilemma Combatives. I got my bro Aaron, and what I want to talk about today is just an overview of the big picture of your options for playing guard in the no-gi game. Although I think these concepts translate mostly to the gi as well. A lot of beginners sort of get overwhelmed because it seems like there's all these different guards and they're sort of connected to one another, and it's sort of hard to make sense of what you should be learning, and so I'm hoping this will help. So the basic idea is, Aaron, you'll just turn on your knees still. Okay, so the three kind of leg configurations that we can have. I could have my legs outside, which if he's on his knees is usually going to be in a closed guard, but you know, I might have my legs open for whatever reason to be making things happen. I can have both my legs on the inside. This is obviously going to be like a butterfly guard. And then I could have one in, one out. This is like a half guard. Okay? And most people pretty early on, definitely by blue belt, will probably favor one of those three. But it is good to be a little flexible. We'll talk about that later. Where people struggle is when he's standing. Okay? Especially in no-gi. But the same basic idea applies. I can have both legs outside. Now in the no-gi, this is usually going to mean I'm going to make an angle and have like a delehiva. Okay? There is also something called K-guard, but that's a little more advanced and involves attacking the legs, and so I wouldn't worry about that as a beginner. I could have both legs inside. Okay, this is like a shin-to-shin kind of guard. A lot of times I'm going to be focusing on one side and eventually trying to work my way to like a single leg X or to an X guard. Okay? And then lastly, we could have one in, one out, which is going to be, this is called reverse delehiva. So a lot of people get those three positions confused in particular. And if we just think about our legs on the inside, stand up again, please. If both my legs are on the inside, this is single leg X. If both my legs are on the outside, this is a delehiva. We're kind of one in, one out. This is reverse delehiva. So I hope that sort of helps sort of categorize things. You could kind of think of 6 overall categories in terms of the 3 leg configurations and then whether your opponent is kneeling or standing. Okay. Now, you might ask, well, do I have to really get good at all 6 of those? I would say no. It's definitely fine to favor one or the other. However, you are going to need at least one option for kneeling and for standing. As you proceed with your guard game, let's say like you favor half guard, you're going to have to deal with certain scenarios. And just being aware of the option, for example, if he pressures, this is a bad angle, but I can put in a butterfly guard and switch to sort of a two feet in kind of scenario. Okay? Or let's say he stands up, I could switch to a kind of a sit up, shin on shin kind of scenario. So just being aware of some of your different options and then finding solutions to the problems that you consistently run into, and not necessarily being attached to one of those 6 types of guards, being able to be a little bit flexible just to deal with different types of scenarios. Let me give one more example, because I always love this, this shin on shin guard. I learned this from watching Marcelo Garcia a lot, and he was just big about inside position, whether the opponent is standing or kneeling, and he just would not allow them to step inside. If he tries, then he's pummeling, and he's just always managing this distance. But I found that I guess I'm not as good as Marcelo, and I'm not always able to force that position. Sometimes he is able to step inside. And so as he pressures in, that's where I come into this kind of delehiva type of a situation. So I hope that helps with just kind of an overview and giving you some conceptual framework to start to build your guard game and be flexible between switching between some of those different types of guards. So let me know if that makes sense to you guys, if you have any questions. And thank you, Aaron, for being my uke.
Of course.
And as always, train hard, train smart, and train safe. Us.
Awesome.